Hey, what's
Joe,
up?
brother,
What's up?
what's up, dude?
How you doing?
Man, oh man, absolutely delightful, dude. Thank you so much for the time tonight.
Yeah,
Sorry we're a little bit late here, but god damn,
it's all
it's
good.
been a
It's
minute.
all good.
It's been a minute, brother. Thank the Lord. Fuck, dude. Some of these, I'm just like, I feel bad that like scheduling things haven't happened and just kind of going back and forth. And I'm like,
Dude,
this is what I'm like. Joe and I have fucking gone back and forth for a while,
yeah,
dude.
yeah, it's definitely been some back and forth. It's like, dude, getting two people's schedules to line up is the worst. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it.
Sometimes it's just as simple as that. There's just different things where all of a sudden, like, I don't know, but I think at the end of the day, all that matters is that we're here. I'm so excited to dig into, the stuff that we're going to, your work, looking back on, um, honestly, I mean, just like the whole like photography thing, I've always been in love with, and the things
Thanks.
that you capture, I yeah, we'll get to all of this. I
We'll
guess
get, yeah, exactly.
before all of this though, even you hold on. Somebody says something about Joe is my white 50 Cent, and I went back on your page, and there was like
Yeah,
some time ago that you had posted up something that like you were closest to. How the fuck did that happen?
I don't even. It was like, so there was this app, like mid 2000s, this
I
app
love that he said
that
that.
would like match you with a celebrity or something like that. And for whatever reason, that was like the match that came through was like, oh, you look like 50 Cent. And I was like, okay. And Dennis, I know from years of touring. And that was definitely like, that was a big inside joke on those
uh,
tours. Like, so
I didn't.
that was always fun.
I didn't want to get too lost in in
I mean,
anything
how do you
sidetracking,
how
but
do you not see that and
I
like
just
want to
saw
just
that.
like
Yeah.
zero in?
Now tell us about yourself. Joe growing up, and some interests, and that maybe you and your friends had when you were coming up, and a tangible item that you wish that you still had from your childhood.
I mean, okay, so growing up, like if you go like just way back, like I played hockey as a kid. That was like my big thing. Like
Sick. That's
always,
awesome.
always did. And then just like I don't know, I kind of like that was my thing. Skateboarding, like big into skateboarding as a kid. I think everyone who gets into punk in any way, shape, or form,
Hmm.
like that's their like avenue for the most
Hmm.
part. So there was definitely like a lot of that. My dad played drums, so there was
Oh,
a
okay.
drum set in our basement at all times. And so I had some friends that we like started a cover band like in like fifth grade, just like covering like Nirvana and Blur and like random stuff like that. Um,
Okay.
I never, I never got good at drums. I tried. I wanted to because it's like every punk band suffers from like not being able to find a drummer.
Uh-huh.
So I was like,
Sure.
I'm gonna be the drummer, and I'm like, no, it's not working. I just like I'm not a drummer. It's not gonna happen. Like, sure, my dad did it, but like, no, like it wasn't for me.
Damn.
Um, and I don't know. I mean, I think like growing up, like it was just like friendships. I don't know. That sounds lame, but like that was like a big thing. I feel like for me, and then um, a tangible thing. Like you sent that question over, and I was like, what is a tangible thing that I wish I still have? And I'm like, I have no. The only thing that came to mind at all. So the first camera I ever got, which I know is like another one of your questions, but I
Hmm.
had this ridiculous like 110 film, like the long like weird
Oh,
cameras that existed.
weird. Okay.
Um, and it was like the 90s, so it printed a little Ninja Turtle on every film photo that you shot. So like every shot that you
What?
would take would have a little Ninja Turtle like imprinted on it. And I'm like, if I could go back and find that thing again, like that would just be incredible. Like it's like the most ridiculous like niche thing in the world,
That
but like
was by design? It was
it was
made
by
like
yeah, it
that?
was by design. Like it was like part like the whole camera itself like had a Ninja Turtle on the front of it. And then you take the photo and when you develop the film, there would just be an imprint of like one of the turtles in the corner. It was
Oh,
just like
damn.
weird 90s things, you know? Like
I
just
mean,
crazy.
with technology, I think there's always those weird, kind of like small moments of somebody taking on like, oh, this big conglomerate company has this thing and I want to kind of try to do something, but I want to have my imprint or my mark,
Yeah,
on it. And
exactly.
I wonder how the fuck that camera would come, like,
Yeah, I
who
have
would
no.
have some
I want to know
information on
like
that?
how many more of those exist.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
was there like a Barbie one? Was there like a Michael Myers one? Like where are they? How do I get my hands
Oh,
on them?
dude.
Like
Okay.
I kind of that's what I want to know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because like as far as like collectors and such, I don't ever remember anybody having, anything that's like like a Halloween, theme or something like that. But
No, you don't
that's
really
something to
see
take a
it.
look at. What brand was it?
I don't. I have no idea. I wish I could remember. It was
Oh,
probably
damn.
Kodak, honestly, because I feel like at the time that was like the brand. But I don't know.
Weird.
No idea.
What?
I'm gonna have to Google it later. I'm like, 'cause it's got to exist still.
Was
Someone
that
out
like
there
a
has one.
was that like a specialty shop that would have to actually like
No,
develop the film,
no. I
or
would just like take it to like CVS, Walmart, whatever, and just like go to
no
their 1 hour
shit?
photo, and it would just be automatically on there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. No
yeah.
shit. It's
Kind of
crazy. I
wild.
mean,
Kind of
yeah.
weird. Kind of a weird thing, but
Now, I mean, when you got into skateboarding, were you one of those cats that you took on for the day, thinking about you were gonna slap out a kickflip and were ended up doing backwards nollies, or were you somebody that was like, I'll just hang out, fellas?
I just want to hang
Yeah,
out. I just want to hang out. I mean,
same here.
I loved skateboarding. And I there was like a phase where I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn this trick. Like I'm gonna nail a kickflip today. It never happened. In all of my like, I probably skated in total for like 20 years maybe. I never landed a single kickflip. It never happened.
Brother,
So
I'm telling you,
I don't know.
same fucking boat,
I
same
loved
boat.
it. And it was like, I almost used it more as like a means to just get around town. Like I grew up in a
Okay,
small town, so I'm like, okay, I'll just skate wherever I want to go.
yeah,
So that was
yeah. Eh,
like almost more what I used it for.
and honestly, kind of like in connecting, and you mentioned like the friendships and different things, like it almost felt like over time it was more of a portal of like, oh well, these kids skate, like let's go and like talk to them and
Yeah.
see like where the fuck they're from and what
Yeah.
school that they're at and what music they listen to. Oh, they're into this type of
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
that
It
was always
really
kind
like
of like a
expands
cool
from
entry
there.
point. Hmm.
Totally.
Hmm.
Totally.
Did you have certain like companies that you were really really drawn to, maybe the aesthetics, or when
Uh,
you
I
went to get
think
a
I
board?
like at the time, uh, I feel like every board I got was a flip. Like flip was
Okay.
really big at the time, and I remember having like a couple different boards of theirs. I liked um the skater who's like I got Rune Glifberg's board
Oh,
over and over
damn.
again because
Okay.
he had like he would skate like a wider board. It was
Uh-huh.
like an 8.5, I think.
Okay.
And because I was not good at skateboarding, I was like, I need a bigger board so I can just stand on it and just ride. So I would always go. I would like lean towards his mostly just because I was like, well, it's bigger, so I can stand on it easier. But yeah, he had like the wider board. So I remember like often like if it was time for a new one, I was like, well, I'll get whatever his is now.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you guys have a cool like local skate shop, or was it something that you would have to kind of do
No,
some
it
scrounging
was
online?
like I remember like I got a lot of stuff from CCS was like a mail order catalog where like everything
Dude,
came from. Um, there was
the
a
best.
spot. So I was born in Vermont, in a small town, and in Burlington, Vermont, which was like 45 minutes away, there was a cool skate shop, and my
Oh,
parents
okay.
like took me there a couple times, but nothing. It was usually just like, oh, I want that board or I want those shoes, and I would just order them through like online
Oh,
catalogs. It wasn't even
oh man.
online at the time. It was just like literally had to like mail your money and like through the mail. So, you
Hope
know,
something came back.
yeah, exactly. It's like, is it gonna come? I don't know. Like maybe. Yeah, it's right. It's from San Luis Obispo, where
Yeah.
CCS started. So
Ah,
yeah.
dude. CCS was like, having that, or like the musical catalogs. Like, I don't know if this was you too, but I remember that being kind of a time where it was like building up, just these wish lists, and like if I could have my board like this, or my bike, or my drum kit, it was like
Yep.
going back
Yep.
to some of that shit. It's like this isn't gonna go anywhere, but it was a kind of a fun day to kick off a Saturday and just
Yeah.
fucking waste
Oh
some
yeah,
time.
like anytime a new catalog came, I was like circling everything that I wanted,
Dude.
and then it was always like, okay, well, you're not getting all that, so like, what do you really want?
Yeah.
But yeah, like the music stuff too. Like I remember, like it was like Columbia House or whatever. It's like you get like 12 CDs for a penny or whatever. I
Totally.
definitely did that. Like all those little like mail order things. Those were
See,
awesome.
I never did. I
No?
remember like people talking about them and maybe even like mentioning to my parents and they're like, no way, like this is a scam. We're gonna end up with a huge bill, and I guess I
Right.
just didn't take it upon myself to be like, well, I'll just check into it and I'll just do it and write my
Yeah.
dad's name down, or whatever. But I remember people having just like fucking tons of CDs. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you have all of these? Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And it was that.
I think I signed up. I think I signed up more than once under like different names, and I was just like, whatever. Like they'll send me what they send me, and like I don't remember if it ever got paid, honestly, because I was just a kid. I didn't. It's not like I had a credit card to put down, so like I don't know if it ever actually got paid, but I definitely remember using that like more than once. So
You didn't have like a moment in Home Alone 2 where the dad ends up finding the credit bill.
not
Kevin!
that I mean, I don't know. My parents, maybe my parents got it and they just never said anything. They're just like, oh, whatever,
Ooh,
stupid kid. Like,
man, oh
but
man.
never, not to my knowledge, at least. No.
Now you're currently in Denver
Yeah.
area or kind of
Yeah.
outskirts, right?
Yep.
Okay. When about did you move there?
I moved to Denver in 2008. So it's
Okay.
been
Okay.
a minute.
Okay. So you're in Vermont up until that point, and was that just moving with family or?
No. So I would lived in, I was born in Vermont. I lived there until it was like 99, I think. And then my parents moved to Maine.
Oh,
Um, and
damn.
so I spent most of my life in Maine, um, and that's where like all of my like musical like knowledge, learnings, growing ups, all of that like all kind of started in that area.
Okay.
Um, and then 2008 was just kind of I had met my now wife, and I didn't really have as much going on in Maine, and I was like, fuck it, let's just move. Let's see what this is all about. And
Shit.
good decision because now we've been together for shit's like 20 years now, so it was
Wow.
worth the move. But
Congrats.
yeah, at the time it was just like I got nothing really going on in Maine necessarily. I had been doing a lot of touring, but I was kind of like hitting a wall with it just on like a personal level, I
Hmm.
guess. So I was like, let's just move. Let's just do something different. So
Jesus.
yeah, so I've been out here since then, but I was like a good stretch of time spent in Maine.
Now, earlier 2000s, I'm trying to think of like bands that were from around there. Like what was going on? I know like the New England, I mean as far as like that area had quite a bit, but I'm thinking Maine specifically.
Maine specifically, I mean, I'm gonna botch this big time, and of course they've got. I see Chris is on here, who's a good friend of mine from back home, but
If
um,
needed, we can chop this and we can edit it, you know what I'm saying? We can
chop
come
it up.
back to
Don't
it.
say a
Eh?
word. Just like cut it all out. No, I mean there was actually a lot going on like in the town that like
Oh,
that we grew up in. Like we grew up
outbreak.
in a small town, tops of yeah, outbreak. And that was a band that I toured with. That was a band that I was in. But even before that, there was like, um, I mean, there
Wait,
was
you
like,
were in outbreak?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Shut the fuck up. How did I
yeah.
not know this?
I don't. I actually. So you had me send over a little like cover photo for you, and I was like, oh, I threw a little Easter egg in there, and I was wondering if you
Fucking
were gonna. It
A.
was tiny. It was really tiny. I like kind of made it secretive,
I was just
but
thinking
I
maybe it was
did throw a
like
little.
more of like a
I was
like
like
a
maybe he'll catch it. Maybe he won't. It's cool. It's like you know that was so long ago too. Like that band was 2002. That was a long
no
time.
shit. That
Yeah,
is fucking
yeah,
insane. Was that the band that you were with for a while then touring? Or
yeah.
were you doing other shit at Pat like post that?
So I did Outbreak originally. We kind of like I don't they didn't like break off, but there was like a side project, Cruel Hand. I started up that with Chris. And then when I
Dude,
moved
I
out here to Colorado, I did a band called Perspective with some friends out here.
Okay.
Um, way like just small, just for fun more than
Okay.
anything. And then nothing since then.
Dude,
So, so
I can't like I'm so fucking embarrassed. I can't believe that shit. I have
no,
like Cruel Hand tank tops, t-shirts that are down here just waiting for the
hell
summer,
yeah.
brother.
I
Fucking
mean, it's
A.
the
Hey,
best
that
time.
is insane.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah. That one was
no
like pretty.
kidding.
That one was pretty short lived. I started the project with like Chris and Nate. And did the demo, did like the first LP, and then that was when I was kind of just like love all those guys, but I had just like hit a wall with kind of playing. I was like, I don't know. It was like I just wasn't in it anymore. So I was like, you guys like you're on a roll, keep going, find someone else. And
No,
that's when I was just like, I'm out, and I left Maine, and yeah. So it was short lived being in Cruel Hand, but still good
I'm
times.
trying to think of what year it would have been, and even like picturing like faces and everything. Were you on the Straight Edge Day video then? The
No,
show that they did? Okay,
nope,
so that was
nope.
post. Okay.
Yep,
Dude,
yep.
fucking
Yeah, I did.
A.
I played a
Can't
couple
believe
shows with
that.
Blacklisted as well.
Oh,
That was like
dude.
it was more of a fill in thing, but it was like I did like a couple did like a week tour and then almost joined, but in the end it was like the Philly to Maine commute. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. And at the time, I just psyched myself out.
Dude.
So
We're gonna have to do a part two. You know what I'm
we
saying? We're gonna have to fucking scrounge
can
back.
dive
We're gonna
deep.
have
Can dive deep.
we're gonna have a photography episode as we intended today, but I fluffed off and I've got to do a little bit more research, my brother, and kind of fucking go back digging in. Jesus H,
It's all like hidden though. Like I don't. It's like I
crazy.
there was so Fiddlehead played out here recently,
Uh,
and I know Pat from like playing shows in New England with Have Heart, and like
uh,
um he just like said something on stage while we were there, and called out that I was an outbreak, and like a bunch of people after that show were like, you lived here how long? No, like how did we not know this? And I'm like, it's just not something I talk like. I've never been the person who's like, oh yeah, well I was in this band, like, I'm like, if someone finds out, like, I'm not gonna not talk about it, but I just have never been someone to like try to flaunt like credentials of like, oh, you should like my photography and what I'm doing because like, oh, I was an outbreak, or like I did
yeah.
this. So it's never been something I talk about. It's like not hidden because I'm like ashamed of it or don't love that I did it, but it's just kind of like a
Okay.
hidden thing for me a little bit at this point because it's so far gone. But
Okay. Well,
but
I
yeah,
mean,
so you didn't really mess up.
I see what you're saying. I guess as far as like it being a thing where it's kind of separated things, and it's not being something where one thing is kind of like, oh well, you should, like, kind of like you said, well, you should follow my shit and say that my shit is that much better because of this, versus like, hey, your shit just
Yeah,
rules.
yeah. I feel like there's like a lot of people
Like a
who like kind
tainted.
of use that. Like even with like bands, you'll be like, oh, ex members of blah blah blah, and suddenly everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be great. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like just put the music out, and if it's good, it's gonna speak for itself. Like
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't have to,
Quality.
yeah, you shouldn't have to like say like, oh, well, this has members of this band and this band. Like if it's actually good, people will just like it anyways. That's kind of
It
always been like my mindset.
it would be kind of hilarious though if your page said like Joe X Lacey featuring ex members of Outbreak, Cruel Hand.
Right? Just put it on there, make it
Ignorant.
happen.
Oh my god, it's so stupid. Oh, I love it. Where do you where what comes to mind as far as like you being a kid and getting CDs, and what was the first CD or tape or or a record that you had gotten? What do you
The
remember?
the first tape that I like remember buying, there was probably one before it, but um, do you remember hip hop or the hip hop group, rap group? I don't know what they were. Crisscross.
Sure,
Yeah,
of course. Yep.
that was the first tape I bought, and I think it was
Shit.
like I was at this point in my life, like, so my dad's really like a musical person. My mom loves music as well. My dad's like he's a deadhead, like through and through.
Okay.
Um, loves Fish, like, but he also loves like Pearl Jam. He's like The Cure, Echo and the Bunnymen, like all kinds of stuff like that. Like
Shit.
he had a band when I was really little that was like very influenced by Echo and the Bunnymen. And I remember I would like sit in the studio when they would like practice, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I'm like, yeah, my dad's in a band.
It's the
This is like
life.
cool. And
Yeah.
so I think I hit this point where I was like, okay, my parents like all this like rock stuff. Like, screw that. Like, I want this crisscross tape. Like, I want to be different from my parents. Like, it was like very much like that punk mentality of like, no, like I'm not gonna like the things that my parents like. Like, it's just not gonna happen. And so I got that tape, and then I remember they put out like a VHS also, and I bought that, and I was the kid who was definitely in like third grade. I was backwards pants at school, getting made fun of nonstop. I'm pretty sure I went to the principal and like was like, call my mom, like I want to go home, like this is awful. Because everyone was just like making fun of me, and I was like, oh man. Now I'm like, whatever. Like, look
Yeah.
back on it, and I'm like, who cares? It was fun. So that's like the first tape that I remember, like that I definitely purchased.
Oh,
Um,
damn.
but yeah, there was like a really cool um, in Vermont. There was this really cool CD store that I would go to often.
Mm.
Um, it's called Sound Source, and they would often just like have like stuff out that it was kind of like when you got like those bigger stores like Sam Goody or whatever, they'd have like the listening stations,
Hmm. Okay.
but like this place would literally just like put a CD on the counter and have like a CD player, and you could just like listen to it. So I loved
Oh,
going
damn.
there because I could just grab like whatever they had on the counter and just be like, I'm just gonna listen to it, and if it's good, maybe I buy it. If it's not, then whatever. So that place was super
Shit.
cool. And then once I moved to Maine, Maine has an awesome record store, Bull Moose. There's like a couple of them throughout the state, um, and that became like a hangout. Honestly, like it was less even about like going and buying music. It was just like you would just go and just hang out because like that's where like the cool kids would like were like working, and like that's where you could just like meet up with friends like so it was almost more of a hangout than a place to buy music. But Bull Moose was like the best. Like it's awesome. It still exists as far as I know.
Oh, really? Out in Maine? Okay.
But yeah,
Shout
yeah,
out to that place. Damn.
yeah, yeah,
Hopefully, some kids have started picking up a record or two every once in a while because they're like, God damn it, guys, we have to stay in business.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
No, that's awesome. I mean, and I mean, from my horror, like interests, I've always wanted to visit Maine and check out Bangor and different
yeah,
spots like that. But it's cool, to kind of hear, and like we started talking, some of these bands and some of the things, from that area, and I'm just like, fucking Cool Hand and Outbreak and all these fucking Blacklist and God damn it, dude.
Maine,
Maine's got
Maine's
some
got
fucking
Maine's
banging
got
shit going on.
yeah, Maine's got some good and still doing awesome stuff in Maine. Like I just I think it was like 2 years ago now. I don't remember. There's an American Nightmare show that happened in Maine, and that was one of the first like maybe not like the first show, but that was like an early show that I remember going to was like their early days. So when they announced another show in Maine, I was like, you know what? Like I'm flying home for it. More than anything, I'm like, I'm just gonna see all my friends probably. And I
Sure.
did, which was awesome. But like even like the other bands that are coming up now, I'm like, Maine still has it. Like it gets overlooked all the time, but Maine is like awesome. Anyone who's going on tour and skips it because it feels out of the way is like really messing up. Like it's awesome.
Oh, that's great. I mean, and that's kind of the thing though too, is every once in a while you have those spots. Like I'm in Michigan, I'm born and raised,
Yeah,
and that, kind of sometimes if it's not Detroit or something very southern Michigan, oftentimes gets kind of, missed, but you end up getting to some of these other spots, or like Grand Rapids way, or, like a little bit north, like there's some other shit that like you're going to be surprised by the people that draw out. And sometimes it's just that thing where it's like, there's not really anything else going on. Like there's not whole lot of
yeah.
shit, So it's like when something is happening, kids want to come out. Like we just played a show in Lansing this last weekend, and it was filled to the brim, and every one of these kids were fucking moving the whole show. It's like,
It's
dude, this is
the best.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I that's very real. Like you get these like small towns where they just don't get enough like action. Like the shows just like don't happen.
hmm
And so when they do, it's just like everybody is there.
yeah,
Like it doesn't
fuck yeah,
matter what the band is, doesn't matter. Like it's just like everyone's there. And like Maine was always like Maine's always been known, in my opinion, like for like stage dives.
yeah,
Like
okay,
you ask like anyone who lives on the East Coast, like who's ever met anyone from Maine, they're like, oh yeah, like bunch of stage dive kids. Like it's just like it didn't matter if there's like 5 kids there or if there's like 100 kids there. Like kids in Maine are gonna want a stage dive no matter what. And like it's just like it creates like such a cool environment. I feel like
yeah,
it's just you don't see it a lot of times.
shit.
So
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
that's the
That's
thing that
awesome.
Maine has that like I don't know,
A great
nowhere else
staple
has it.
that terror will have to, they have to stop by every time. I'm assuming by, the stage dive ethic.
Yeah,
Well, and Chris, that, I
exactly.
guess funny enough now that thinking about that tie in
Yep,
too.
yep.
Jesus, that's crazy. So you kind of touched on this a little bit, but as far as from your interest in music, like, did you find yourself, wanting to pick up an instrument and play prior to discovering going to shows or concerts, or how did that whole relationship go from a love for music and then kind of that next step past?
I think so because my dad had a drum set in our basement because he played drums. I definitely like I wanted to play an instrument. I was like I like wanted to drum. Like that was like a thing. I was like this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick up the drums. That's just gonna happen. It
hmm
just never clicked for me. I never got it.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, like I definitely had like this interest really early on of like wanting to play music in some way, shape, or form. I think like those early days, like when I was playing drums, we were like, let's play some covers. Like let's learn this Nirvana song, or like, oh, let's learn song 2 by Blur. Like, and we like played our school talent show. And I think the biggest thing that made me like give up on drums is I remember getting on that stage for the school talent show, and all the time that we would like practice, I would just like slam the drums. We got up there and I was like, okay, I gotta be real quiet. And I was like, okay, this is not for me. Like it's not gonna happen because I got like stage fright. I got super scared and I was like, no. And then even at that point, I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll never play music because I'd like watch videos, like you watch like MTV and stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, like I'm not gonna be doing that. Like clearly I'm too scared, but eventually I got over it and I was just like, whatever. Like
Okay.
I'm gonna play, and half the time I just won't play and I'll just have fun. That's like that's like I was never like I don't know. I don't even like saying I was like ever a musician because I'm like I never really played. Like it was like let's
Okay.
hit a couple notes and then like jump or like dive into the crowd or like do
Yeah.
something. I was like I'd not play half the time. Really didn't. Always had my bass way too low. Like I just like wanted to like
Okay.
look cool more than anything.
Okay. Okay. So at post drums was taken on bass then.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yep.
Okay. What was the first bass that you got?
The first bass was I think I probably borrowed somebody's bass, honestly. Like in the
Mm.
beginning, I
hmm
just like probably borrowed someone's and I was like, can I just like play this? Because I want to see if I like it. But the first one I remember buying, I got like a Squire Jazz, I think, or a Squire Precision bass, I think.
Sick. Okay.
And then eventually after a while, I was like, okay, I gotta get something a little bit better than this. And I ended up getting a Fender Jazz, soldered in some EMG pickups into there.
Okay.
Me and Chris late at night at my parents' house, just like pretending we knew how to solder. Um, and
Did you fuck it
then,
up?
oh no, we didn't. No, no. But I
Oh.
just like we didn't. We had no clue what we were actually doing. We were just like, yeah, okay, cool. It sounded great in the end. Like it was worth it, but we didn't really quite know what we were doing. I don't think.
Yeah.
But that bass got. I guess Chris still has it. He's saying, but
Okay.
that thing got beat to hell. Like that, just like, I mean, you go on tour and you just like you're unloading the van and everyone's just throwing shit out of the van. Like it was always like the first thing to get tossed because I just had like a really shitty case, and I'm like, whatever, I don't care. So, but
God.
yeah, then that, and then years later when I moved out here, I was like, I want to pick up guitar. Like I'm like, I don't know if I can do it, but like just want to buy a guitar and I just want to give it a shot. And I got I forget I can't remember the model now, but it was kind of, there was like these Japanese lawsuit guitars back in
Mm.
like the 70s that were like ripping off Gibson Les
Oh,
Pauls.
okay. Yep. Yep.
And I found one of those. It was also like pretty beat to hell, but it's like if you like, it feeds back like it just needs some love, you know. But like if you plug it in, it just like immediately starts feeding back like instantly. It's like the loudest, like just like hottest guitar ever. But
Shit. Okay.
that's what I did later, and that was that was fun. I was never good at it. I never, never really took to any of the instruments I played. I just had fun more than anything,
You know, I mean, I feel like, maybe even 7 or 8 times out of 10, that's what it's all about. Like
Yeah,
halfway making it so it's, at least decent, maybe the feedback a little bit down, unless you're the chariot and that's your thing. You
yeah,
kind of have
yeah,
it somewhat presentable, and it's like, go out there and have fun, have energy, and
yeah,
fucking people won't even notice
yeah,
probably.
yeah. I mean, I like the more I've gotten into like photography too, like on like the other side of it, I'm like, if a band has energy,
Hmm.
I'm like, this is awesome. Like you can get such cool shots. You can just like, and it's just like the feeling, like the feeling of like a band that actually goes out there and like jumps around or just like has a good time. Like you can see that.
Yeah,
And
okay.
like when a band doesn't have that, it's like it doesn't matter how good that band is, that set is just kind of boring.
Mm.
And like it's really like I feel like that's one thing that like everyone who's like, if you're starting a punk band, like just approach it from like fun and just go out and like have a like make a show, like do a thing. Don't just like hop up on stage and want to play your instrument perfectly
Hmm.
and like always be in tune and all of that, like because it's kind of boring for the people that are watching your band. Like, like I've had bands who like after a show will be like, oh, like we'd love to see the photos, and I'll send them over, and I'm kind of like, they were a little
Yeah.
boring. Like I hope you like the photos. I hope they came out good, but like there was nothing to capture. And it's
Oh.
just like you gotta have energy, especially like in the punk and hardcore scene. Like it's the be all end all, in my opinion.
Are there times that conversation comes up, or is it more of a thing that you kind of just, you're like, I'll let them figure this out?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever said it to anybody.
Huh.
Um, there are times when I'm like, like if it's like a young band, I'm like, maybe I should say like, hey, like go off,
Hmm.
like have fun, like here's some photos from your set, but like I hope you like them, I hope you're like into them, but like you got to go off, like, and it'll be cooler.
Hmm.
And like there's times when I'm like, maybe that would be beneficial to say to like some young kids so they can learn something.
Right.
But I'm like, I just feel like you either feel it or you don't.
Well,
And
there's
like the
also
bands
that.
that feel it, you can see.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, there's also that balance too, to where it's like that's kind of like some of the on the job training, where it's like you need to figure that shit out. If it's something, to where like you're feeling like something's wrong, or maybe you see like some footage that somebody, shot at you guys, and then you see that it's like, oh, we need to kind of like pick up something. Like we don't need to
Yeah.
be out here with full on fucking Frankenstein costumes, but like
Right.
just as
Yeah.
far as the energy and moving and bouncing and getting involved with the crowd, maybe calling out like circle pits or stage dives, whatever the fuck. Um,
Yeah.
that helps things pick up, for sure.
It
And
does.
over the amount of years, I don't know if I ever had anybody necessarily saying any of that type of shit, but I think one of the things that I've always picked up on with playing shows is cordial, being cordial with time. It's like getting up there and
Oh yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
I'm not hanging out for 20 fucking minutes, breaking down
Yeah.
my stuff. Oh, thanks, but let me get my
Yeah.
shit off. Let me get
It's
out of
like
the
get it
way.
off and let's go.
Let's hang out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Interesting. Interesting. When I mean, as far as like you discovering underground Was that something as far as your involvement in playing in music then, the underground music scene,
Yeah,
hardcore?
I think it started more with like skateboarding, honestly.
Oh, oh yeah,
So
yeah. Okay.
like yeah, my dad took me to my first ever show,
Mm,
and but not I should say concert. My dad took me to see the Grateful Dead in '95,
okay.
and at the time I was like, okay, my dad loves the Grateful Dead, like he wants to take me to a concert. Like I was in like fifth grade and I was like, cool, let's do it. It was like the Grateful Dead, Bob Dylan, I don't remember who else. It was in '95. It was like I saw a photo online like years ago, and there was apparently 90,000 people at that gig. And I'm
Holy
like
shit! Wow.
kind of nuts. But like, so we get there. Bob Dylan's playing. I look at my dad. I'm like, this guy can't sing. I was like, this is awful. I was like, this is bad. And he's like, just wait, just wait. Like, we didn't come to see him. And I'm like, okay, fine. So the Grateful Dead starts playing, and my dad is just like getting getting high as hell. And I think I don't think he thought that I had a clue what was going on,
Uh
but
huh.
like I was the kid in fifth grade, like who definitely stole my dad's weed and got high. So I was like, I know what you're doing. I know exactly what you're
Okay.
doing. But
Okay.
he
All
got
right.
so high that like at the end of the show, we literally slept in the parking lot, and he was like, "Oh, there was too much traffic. I couldn't leave." And I was like, "No, you were high." And he's like, "Yeah, that too."
Oh
Um,
no! Oh
but
man!
like, so that was like the first like musical experience, and I feel like as much as I like look back on it and I'm like, that's actually kind of cool. Like, who can say they saw the Grateful Dead? Like,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
cool. I don't remember necessarily enjoying it, but like, I think that was the thing that pushed me to be like, all right, what else is out there?
Mm.
Because I enjoyed the idea of live music, but I was just like, I'm not feeling this. So then I kind of like started like talking to my friends, like like a lot of like skater friends. I was like, what are you listening to? Like, what's going on? And it was then like it was like fourth, fifth grade, like find out about like Nirvana. That was like a huge one for me. Loved it. And then one of my like best friends who I would skateboard with a lot, he had an older brother who was really into punk music,
Mm.
and he gave me the No Effects. I think it was Heavy Petting Zoo, if I remember right.
Oh,
he
okay.
gave he gave me that. He's like, listen to this. Like, stop listening to that. Like listen to this. Like, promise you'll love it. And I was like, all right, cool. So I took the CD home, and I was just like blown away. I was just like, this is it. Like, this is the thing. Like, it was fast, and it was just like it was cool.
Uh-huh.
Like, I loved that. So I was like, okay, what else? And I just kept borrowing CDs from my friend's older brother, and he gave me Pennywise. I think um, like the early Offspring CD, I think.
Mm.
Like, it was still kind of in that like kind of like pop punky vein a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
like on the more punk side of things.
Right.
Um, and then there was a this was when I was still living in Vermont, and there was a band there that played at like a municipal gym, and my friend's brother like found out about it. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna go see this show," and I'm like, okay, cool. Like thinking it's gonna be like another like experience like I'd had. Um, and it was like a punk show, like just like 20 kids in the room, just like running around, kind of like idiots, and like just the band's playing fast, and like I was kind of hooked. I'm like, okay, I don't know quite what this is, and I don't know like how to find more of it necessarily. I'm just gonna keep asking this friend's older brother, but that was like kind of the first thing that hooked me, I feel like. um
Shit. Okay.
and then like I fell down the normal hole that I feel like everyone at that age who gets into punk does, of like, oh, like Green Day's the coolest, and like Blink 182 and like that kind of stuff. And I went and saw those bands live, and I was like, yeah, this is cool, but it still was like always kind of missing something. um and then like a year later, probably maybe 2 years, is when my parents moved to Maine. They just like, for work, they moved. And then I think that was like the first like finding some of those people in Maine, um, and just like getting turned on to like different things in that world, like still like skateboarding, and it was still just like, yeah, like the Punkorama compilations. Like
Sure. Yeah.
Chris worked at Bull Moose like in high school, and would just like, that was like an introduction to a lot of things.
Oh
Um,
shit.
and
Okay.
then from there, just like it just kept going and kept going, and then things just got like more and more interesting for me. And I was like, okay, I'm finally finding like that niche, like that like the like hardcore punk sound that I was like, this is what I was like always searching for,
Okay.
but I just like couldn't quite get there.
Yeah.
But like meeting up with like those, like moving to Maine was like a pivotal thing, honestly, because like I think the friends I had in Vermont, like great people, but like the people I met once I moved, like Chris and like Austin, and we had like just all of those, that whole group of friends group that we had was, that's what like turned me on. And they had like a band, um Conscious Youth Crew, and they did like a house
Okay.
show, and I was like, I'm going to this house show, like it's gonna happen. And it's just like it goes from there, like it just like keeps spiraling. And then kind of meet up with like, there's like, where we lived was a little bit more kind of like rural, I guess, rural Maine. And then way out in like the middle of nowhere Maine was where like we met up with a lot of like those other kids,
Okay.
like that ended up starting like Outbreak and like all like a lot of those bands.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that was like, that's what got us, like we're like going out of state for shows, we're like traveling, we're doing like,
Mm.
there's a show happening somewhere in New England, like we're getting in a car. Like I rode in the trunk of like a Subaru Legacy, like from Maine down to like Worcester for a show, and that's like a 3 hour drive almost. And it was just like, yeah, like we want to go to this show, so guess what? Like we're hopping in the car, and oh, there's too many of us. Like get in the trunk. Like okay, cool, let's do it. And
Oh,
that definitely happened like often,
oh
happened a
man.
lot.
Oh, oh. Grab
But
another
we're
straw,
like,
brother. You got to
I
pop
don't
it
know,
through the
like Maine
fucking
kids
front
are just
door.
like, it's just like a different breed. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like different.
Well,
Like, you
I mean,
know?
we talk about some of these different comps, some of these different things, but an evolution for me personally, my friends and I, we were very conscious of like the Boston hardcore idea, LA and different things. But when those DVDs started coming out of the New England Hardcore and Metal Fest,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if this was like 2001. I don't know if it was like, or if it was a little bit
I feel
later or
like it was
not.
around, yeah, like 2001, 2002, maybe
But
somewhere in
god
that range.
damn,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
those
And
DVDs like
there was like the Hellfest DVD that came
and the
out. I remember
Hellfest
that
DVD that
one.
came out.
Yeah, yeah,
Man, it was so, I love the idea behind like the different comps and the different things, that would come out, but then like having a DVD and having that live footage and seeing like Converge, in like a live manner. Because I mean, that was still fairly new to like, internet, if that was even around, to where like
right.
seeing some of this stuff and like, holy shit, like they're like jumping out in the crowd and slamming motherfuckers with their guitars because they don't, they're just diving in. That
Yeah,
was like very pivotal, man, from like seeing like, oh, we are we have to step up our game.
yeah.
Just
I
being
mean,
kids, like having
yeah,
fun.
that was like a huge thing. It was like, it's like you see these other bands doing this, and you're like, wait, that's like a thing. Like the band's just gonna jump into the crowd. Like,
Yeah,
what the hell?
yeah.
And it's cool. Like it's actually like it is a pivotal thing. Like I feel like a lot of that like mainstream kind of punk stuff that most people find out about first, like it all looks like glitzy, glammy, maybe, and like it looks underground, and then you kind of start seeing the other world, and you're like, oh, there's like a whole nother side of this that
Mm-hmm.
is just like so much more raw and like so much more kind of like real. And that's like, once you get attracted to that, it's like there's no turning back, I feel like. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a
Yeah, yeah, for
very
sure.
different.
Where does photography get introduced? I mean, and maybe even prior to the involvement, as far as the music community, how does that come to you?
So I I mean, I had that camera as a kid. That was more so just like for fun, I feel like my parents were just like, here, take this camera.
The turtle one?
Um, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the best one.
That's so sick.
And then honestly, the first like camera related stuff for me was it was senior year, and all of us were like, well, we need senior photos, but we're all like punk kids. We're like, we don't want to go to like glamour shots. Like yeah, our parents maybe want that, but we're like, we don't want to do that. So I remember someone was like, I had a camera. I don't remember where it came from, if it was maybe my parents or something, but like I had a camera and someone was like, hey, next show we go to, like try to get a photo of me stage diving. That's going to be my senior photo. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, cause like when I first started going to shows, I was like a little bit more like hesitant. I was like, I don't want to get in there. Like, I love what I'm seeing, but like, I wasn't quite ready to like be in the mix.
Uh,
So I would like stand to the side and I'm like, cool. Like, yeah, I'll bring my camera. Like, whatever. I'll take some photos. So that was like honestly the first kind of like thing for me with photography, was just friends being like, I want a senior photo and I want it to be cool. So like
okay.
take a photo of me diving, and I'm like, all right, let's make it happen. I don't think anybody's photos actually came out, because I was like it was definitely like a film camera and I had no clue what I was doing.
Oh.
There's like some photos that surfaced on the internet. Like I found them. Chris helped me find them through like, there's a thing called the Wayback Machine, where you can like go and look at like old websites that are like defunct. And so we found a bunch of
Oh, really?
photos that way. Yeah.
Oh,
So there were
shit.
some that
Okay.
came out, but I don't think anyone ended up actually using them like in the yearbook. But that's honestly like where it started. And like the first show that I remember photographing was, it was like a fest in New Hampshire called Function Fest, and there was a lot of metal bands that played that we all got there late and missed them because it wasn't really our thing. But there was like Kill Your Idols, Bane, American Nightmare. There's probably some others, but those are like the three that I like really remember.
Oh, damn.
And those were like the first like shots that I took of like a band, and that was like 2001.
Damn.
And then like I took that same camera to like a couple shows for like, I don't know, like maybe like 2 or 3 months. I was like kind of like feeling like I was into it, but there was also in New England just like tons of photographers that were just like actually like legit, like doing it.
Hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I'm not there. Like, I'm just gonna put the camera on the shelf. Like, and I just said like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna leave it to those guys. Like, they're already doing an awesome job. No need for me to get involved. So I kind of like set it down. Um, and then like 2019, maybe somewhere around there, I like bought a film camera again, and I was like, okay, I just want to give this a go. And it was more like street photography, just like kind of wandering the streets of Denver, just like taking photos of the stuff that I thought looked cool. And then like the pandemic happened, and then there was like the first show that I found out about, at least, like I was like, I think there were some others that happened, but the first one that I found out about, after things started getting lifted, it was like Scowl and Foam and Wide Man, like some Denver bands. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take this camera. Like, it's film. I don't know how it's gonna hold up in like this low light with no flash, because I didn't own a flash at the time. But I was like, I'm just gonna see what happens, and I'm gonna give it a shot. And I like loved it. I was like, oh, this is the thing that was like missing, because I had like kind of hit a little bit of like, just like wasn't going to as many shows, partially just like wasn't feeling like a lot of the bands that like were around. And so I
Hmm.
kind of like lost touch a little bit, and then reconnecting with photography was the thing that like brought it full circle for me, because I remembered going on tour and like you'd play a show and then you'd be like, oh, that photographer was there. Like, let's try to find their website. Let's see if they got any cool photos of us.
Oh,
And so now
sure.
I'm like, it's like, it was like a full circle thing of like, okay, now I want to go to the shows and I want to document that moment and hope that maybe that band that's on tour is like, oh, like, I can't wait to see those photos. And that was kind of like reconnecting piece for me a little bit, where I was just like, I wanna really like dive back into this, and then
Sure.
just
Okay.
never dove back out, like just head first.
I mean, in Denver, like that that area, um, God, I don't know. You want to say last 10 years has just been having popping off shit after popping off.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a great fucking area, like where I know for a long time, kind of like you mentioning, Maine was very much a hub for getting completely passed over, for
yeah,
different friends that I have out in that area. And then all of a sudden, like this community that ends up having having going out there, and some of the wolf pack fellas that ends up, like in the middle of all that mix and shit. And it's just
yep,
like, whoa, like
yep,
this is all
yeah,
of a sudden a draw, like it's
yeah. Like
crazy.
when I first moved here in 2008, I feel like there wasn't as much necessarily. Like, at least nothing that I felt like I was connecting with at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like it was a lot of just like heavier, kind of like mosh metal-y type stuff, and I just was like, wasn't feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so yeah, like Denver got passed over all the time because I would always like I'd see like friends of mine from back home like, like they're going on tour, like I hope they're gonna come here so that way I can see them. And then it'd be like it would skip right over Denver, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like
Yeah.
I won't get to see that. And then like every now and then a tour would pass through, and I'd be like, oh, sweet, that's awesome. But Denver got skipped over a lot, like when I first was living here, and then I feel like 2000 like 14 maybe, like somewhere in that range is when things kind of like really started to like it became like a destination. There was just like so much stuff going on here.
Yeah.
um and it's like, admittedly, like 2014 was like 14, 15 maybe, like was where I just kind of like, there was a lot going on that was cool, but I kind of was, I don't know, I was like getting older, and I was like, I don't know, like, do I still want to go to this show? Like, maybe I'll go to like one a month, or like, oh, I'll go to this one, and then like I won't go to one for another like 4 months. I think I was like having like the old man syndrome a little bit, where I was like, yeah, like this is like a young person's thing, like let them have their fun. So
Yeah.
I like regrettably like feel like I missed out on like the big stuff that kind of happened in Denver early on, honestly, because I had just hit this wall of like, I'll just go to like one every so often, instead of like realizing like, oh, there's actually a lot going on right now. And
Yeah.
I just kind of like
Yeah.
missed it a little bit. So
Well, and
a little bit of a bummer, but also like, there's awesome stuff going on right now too.
yeah,
So
dude, you're here, you're here now. I mean, and that's kind of one of those things too, is like when you peel your ass up off the couch, or get yourself out of the house, and you get to a show and you meet rascals like Gordo, somebody like that
yeah,
fella, where it's like, dude,
yeah,
this place is fucking, this is absolutely going off, like just a great, and it always seems like it's overall like a positive experience. It's
oh
something
yeah,
that's, like trying to like pull people in, and like as long as you're about the right shit. But if you're gonna be a punk about, whatever, then it's like, this
yeah,
might not be the space for you. But
might
dude,
not.
it's so
Yeah,
sick.
I feel like that's
And
like I feel like that's like one of the coolest things is seeing, like Gordy's done like huge things for this area, like whether it's just like the amount of flyers the dude's producing, like the bands, like bringing in other bands, like he keeps this thing actually moving here.
Mhm.
And I feel like it's the thing that nobody ever recognizes until it's gone. And it's like,
Mhm.
hopefully kids don't like miss out on like everything that dude's doing,
Mhm.
because at some point it's gonna go away, and someone else either needs to like step up and do it, or it's just gonna die down again. It's just gonna be like, oh, we had our peak and then like dropped back off,
Yeah, yeah,
like, and it's like it's a hard thing to keep going.
yeah. I mean, and it's like even thinking of, because we'll kind of get to some of like um, your documented pieces, as far as your collectives, and one of the things being that convulse day,
Yeah,
and Goon, the consequence. I mean, Goon, brother,
there you
golly,
yeah,
take
yeah,
take take me back any day. Fuck, I love that goddamn band.
so good.
The consequence. There's I think Scowl was on that. Like, it's an insane lineup just to have something
That
for
yeah,
like a 2020s era of bands that you're like looking at it. It's like, holy fuck,
Yeah,
that was a
that
crazy
lineup was
band.
incredible, and like hats off to Adam for actually like pulling that one off because I think I've booked like two shows in my lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like never, no, it was even like it was like even like friends bands where it was just like I'm like I know it's gonna be good. They're just coming through town. It's gonna be a thing. Like I don't care. Like booking shows is such a headache, and for that dude to
Yeah.
like put together that whole fest
Mm-hmm.
and like the lineup that he had was just unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no like bad band on that thing. And it's like normally you go to like a 2 day fest and you're like, all right, I'm gonna sit this one out. Like I'm gonna go grab some lunch. Like I don't care about these bands because you hit this point of like I've seen 10 already and like the next two like I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one of those like that was one of those ones where I went and I was like I'm here from beginning to end. Like I don't think I left that venue once because I was just like every band that's on here is killer.
Can't miss it.
Like
Yeah, for
it
sure.
was just
For sure.
like it's kind of wild. I'm like how you pulled that off? Like I have no idea.
And that's just some of the magic, you know. I mean, that's kind of one of those things where, like I say, I mean, Michigan's not anywhere on on par of that, but like there's waves of things too. I mean, each
Yeah,
area kind of has their own little thing. They kind of have their own little like pop up of bands and have their their style of such. But I think authenticity, energy, and passion. If you have those things, soon enough things just kind of catch on and it kind of develops other cool shit going on, and that's what's been going on with Denver.
yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah. Because it's
hats
like
off, dude.
if it's real, if you have passion for it, like it's gonna show, and that's what
Yep.
that's what makes it cool. That's the thing that like people love, and
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
that's what keeps me drawn in. It's like you get these real bands that come through that just like put their all. You can see that they're putting their all, and you're like, yeah, and it's awesome,
Yep.
awesome.
Works. Yeah. Now, I mean, as far as could you kind of mention on like your first show and where that was all developing and where that was starting? Do you have things that come to mind as far as like maybe certain shots that end up on a record cover or a T-shirt? The ones that are still pretty memorable to you that you're like, fuck. I'm glad that moment in time happened and I was there to capture it.
There's definitely like I think that there's like I think there's been I know I've definitely had some photos that have ended up in like record sleeves. I don't
Mm.
know if any photos have ended up on a shirt. I think for the most part, I usually get like people will ask, they'll be like, "Is it cool if I use this?"
Mm.
But there's a lot of times where you just find it later on down the road, and it's like, "Oh, wait, I took that," and it's like it's cool to still see it, but I'm like, could have just like hit me up and been like, "Hey, well, I want to use that photo." I'm not going to tell you no. I'm not going to ask you for money. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
So I can't think of anything like particularly memorable that's like ended up in a CD or record or shirt or whatever. But I've definitely got like there's a handful of shots that um, I look back on and I'm like I am like so stoked that I was able to get this and like I think like one of my probably like favorite shots I've ever gotten was like complete accident like should not have worked at all honestly like I was still shooting film at the time and it's from a fentanyl show and singer's just like jumping and it's like the perfect jump but somebody like backlit by shooting from the other side and my shutter speed was like just slow enough that it like captured the jump in like three sections technically and like
Oh.
every time I look at that photo I'm just like I'm like that shouldn't exist like that should not have happened but like
Right.
it's like one of my favorite photos I took it in because I really wanted to like print it, but I wanted to do a darkroom print since it was on film. I was like, so I tried taking it in and like printing it in a darkroom, but there's just so many layers to it that I like struggled and I like could not get it. I just couldn't get it right.
Mm.
And
Man.
then there's all the I think all the shots like this keeps every time I think about stuff like this, I'm like, honestly, I should go back to shooting more film because like it's a little more exciting like when you get that shot on
Hmm.
like film where you're like how? Because like when you see digital, like not talking shit on anyone who shoots digital because I do it now,
All right.
but so often they just like hold the camera like above their head and they just like fire the shutter like 100 times and
Hmm.
just like hope that they got the right shot.
Right.
And every
Right.
shot on film is like I'm looking through the viewfinder and I'm like waiting for that moment. And then it's just like this hoping of like click and like you gotta wait. You gotta wait until you can develop the film to even know if it actually came out. You can't like look at your screen and figure out like, oh, did I get it? Did I not get it? And film just got to be expensive. And so it's like, if I'm gonna be spending this much money, like maybe I should just buy a digital camera and just like suck it up. But every now and then I'm like, I need to bring the film camera back out because like when you do get that shot, it's just like it's so cool. And like
Ah,
there's a
man.
there's a shot from the band Big Laugh,
Okay.
where the singer's jumping, and it's just like the most perfectly timed jump, like one leg in the air, one down, like Mike's above his head, and I'm like, that shouldn't like I shouldn't have been able to get that because I had literally like half a second to like click the shutter button at the right time, but I
Uh,
got it. And so I think like I look back on those photos, like those film shots, as like those are the ones that are memorable to me, mostly because I'm like, that probably shouldn't
oh,
exist.
yeah, sure. I mean, and like you say, I like the digital. It still has its place. I mean, it's still,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
something, not to take away because you still have to be in that mode. You have to be at the angle. You have to kind of catch, the moment, the energy, the drive. But it's something like my buddy Sam, who I think he's on here watching. He has been doing photography for like years and goes to tie down every year and has just gotten some insane shit. And through like being more familiar with the process, like you're mentioning, as far as the digital aspect and being able to, just hold down and kind of click on like and
yeah,
capturing a 15-second, mode versus like him standing off to the side and just kind of like watching him every once in a while and like seeing his like eye and kind of panning and then him getting down and like prepping for a moment. It's like, what are you
yeah,
seeing? Like, what is it that's like all of a sudden just now like getting you to kind of get in position and like take this one shot as opposed to it being, like many. And then you print it or you post online. It's like, fuck you, man. How is this so awesome?
no, totally,
Like,
totally.
how? But it's the
Totally. Like
eye,
I like I get like we all got to start somewhere. Like if you want to get into photography, you got to start somewhere. And maybe that start is like get the digital camera out and just like fire off like 500 shots for every band and then narrow it down to like the five that you like. And
Sure.
then like the hope I feel like for people that are doing that is like look at like where you were at that time and be like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so when I like in order to get that shot, I need to stand in this spot and maybe it means I crouch a little bit and I'm like angled up or like that's the thing that I'm always like trying to get better at is like not like even using digital like I'll go to a show and I'll come home with like maybe like 100 shots or so for like a 5 band show.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still, even though I am doing digital, will really try to like train myself to be like no, just wait for the moment and then hit it. Don't just like fire off 100 just to hopefully get the one.
Sure.
Like every now and then I have that moment where like you see something happening and it's just like no, I just got to try to fire off. I got to get something. But like I've tried really hard to like look back at the photos that I really love and just be like, okay, where was that shot taken? That's where because I go to the same venues like all the time. So it's
Sure.
like you can
Okay.
find your like sweet spots and you're like, okay, I know that's where I want to go. And then I want to go on this side and like I'll swap sides, like nothing worse than like you see photos from a band that a photographer took and it's like they're all from the exact same angle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like move around. Like don't just stand in one spot. Like that's so like in my opinion that's so boring. Like I want to see like everything that happened. Like move to this side of the stage, go to that side, stand in the back a little bit. Like if depending on the venue, if you feel like you can do it, like crawl behind an amp, try to get like the drummer, like like I always try to make sure that I'm not like part of their show, but it's like you got to move around. Like you got to find your spots. I feel like.
Man, and another East Coast alumni. At any point when you're shooting, does the song from Nora, "Nobody Takes Pictures of the Drummer," come, to where you're like, I have to get like three here, and then we'll be okay, and we can fucking move on here.
Yeah, so I can't say I'm familiar with that particular song, but
No,
I do like
Nora, no
I
shit.
no I don't know, it was and there that was they were never, I remember that band.
Uh huh.
I definitely remember that band, but like I don't think I ever really got
Oh,
into them.
dude, it's
Um,
sick still to this day. I mean, it might be a little corny now that I listened to it from that long ago, but
right,
X
right. But it's like,
chords and everything.
but it's like, yeah, like I mean, that's the title of that song is like so spot on. Like no one gets photos of drummers,
And
and it's like
yeah.
it's like it's hard because it depends on the venue, depends on the stage,
Hmm.
depends on if you know the band and you can be like, hey, like if I sneak up behind your amp, like for like a moment, are you cool with that? And
Hmm.
you can like kind of get in there and you can like try to get in, but the drummer's just so hard to get. They're pushed back. They're covered by cymbals too. So like every time I try to get a drummer shot,
Right.
and like they hit a cymbal at the wrong moment and it like flips up and I'm like, oh, now I got no face in this photo. Like drummers are tough, but
Yeah.
it's like a challenge. Like I want to get more drummer shots, but
It's a tough
they're hard to do.
go.
It's hard to
And
do.
somebody mentioned too, and I think this is kind of like a good topic as far as for maybe people that are starting to take this on, or maybe people that have been, doing photography for a long time. But the old stage potato, how do you balance this, and how do we politely tell people like, yo, you're
Get the
not in the band,
fuck off the
quit
stage.
walking back and forth and in between people. It's just like, I don't
Yeah.
want to be a dickhead, but like, dear heavenly, can
Yeah.
we can we figure something else? Figure something out here.
Yeah. I feel like I've always tried to like I'm like I'll be in the crowd. Like I might hop up on stage for like a moment and like grab a shot and then I'm back down. Cause like
Mm,
sometimes depending on like the height of the stage, like when you're always looking up, the photos don't look as great.
mhm,
But yeah, yeah, like standing on stage, I don't know, like you're not part of the band.
mhm.
Even if you're like on tour with that band and you're going with them and you've been out and like the band has said, like I don't know, if you've got full access and like the band is saying we want you shooting here, that's one thing I feel like.
Right.
But yeah, like I don't understand the like let's camp out on stage and just like try to get that shot.
Hmm.
Like I don't know, like it's a weird thing. But yeah, the stage potato in general, like the person who just like gets up on stage and they're just like up there, it's like get the fuck off. Like this is not
Yeah.
your show.
I would even say
Like get off.
photographers is one thing, but recently I've been. I mean, I go to a lot of shows, so I don't see it so much here, but some of the fests and such, I've been seeing a lot of people that just like are doing the camping and that are like
Yeah.
sitting there and kind of doing their thing. It's like, what in the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
can't feel like this is okay. Like this, none of this is about you whatsoever. Like,
Right.
please stop. If
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
watching, listening,
On or
yeah,
off. On or off. That's it.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
either like you're on the stage and you're
on
playing or
and
like
off.
you
Like,
like get
just
on and you
go.
get the fuck off. Like you
Yeah,
dive and
yeah.
you get out of everyone's way. Like the stage
Fucking
potato thing
A.
is just like, oh, I hate it. I hate it.
I, and I don't want to say like this is something that's just recent, but like, there's been certain videos where I'm like, this is now at the marker of like 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and they're still fucking up there. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
can we, yeah, can we not do that?
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. Yep.
No, I was going to mention, I thought Goon used something, the one photo that you had with the fucking wings, the back.
Oh, yeah, they used that for like some promo stuff, I think. Um,
Oh shit, maybe that's what it was.
I think or I'm trying to remember now. I remember getting the new record, because
Yeah.
like John had reached out and he was like, "Hey, can you send us those photos?"
Mhm.
And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. Like you got it." And I don't think they ended up using the photo in the record. I think they ended up using it just for like some promo stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that photo, if I remember right, like that's like their Spotify like head image.
Oh, Oh,
Um,
okay. Okay.
I think that's another one of those photos that like I look back on all the time and I'm like, damn, that's like everything about that photo I love. And like in the like looking back in the moment, so that fest had been going like all day. They played last. That was only like maybe the fourth show I think I shot.
Mm.
Um and I just wasn't prepared. My batteries in my flash died. And
Oof.
I was like, well, okay, I guess we just gotta try to go for
Mm.
it. So I like went to like a slower shutter speed and I just tried to like stay still so that there wasn't like too much camera shake. And I like remember the moment at the show where like he like kind of like goes out and I'm like, I got it. And the whole time I was like, there's no way it came out. Like there's no flash on this. I'm sure it's gone. And when I got it developed, I was just like, perfect. Like it came out so
Damn.
good. Like that's an awesome one.
Damn, dude, that's insane. That came out of my mouth, and like before I was even thinking, I'm like kicking myself in the fucking ass because I had forgot the record finally came out. But that's what it was John had sent me like a screener of the record, and that was like the
Yeah.
tentative
Yes.
album
Yeah.
cover because I don't think AP had gotten the album art done yet or anything like that, and so they just put that on for like a temporary. But I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, this is the record cover, like
That would have been
fuck.
a good. That would have been a good. I mean, the cover they did is fucking amazing, but
Yeah,
that would have been
that's so
a
sick.
little bias there, I guess. But that would have been a rad cover.
God, dude. Tell us about Out of Vogue, and as far as we have this interest, that kind of turns into its own beast, and your own involvement in the scene there, and then doing something like Out of Vogue, and how this idea comes about.
So I think for me, so the Convulse weekend zine was like the first one that I did. And that was just like that had nothing to do with this new like out of vogue thing that I'm doing right now. But that one honestly came out. There was I feel bad. I can't remember the kid's name now, but there was a kid who was in attendance who he took his own life like shortly after it.
Wait,
And it
after
was just like
what?
after the fest, like there
Oh,
was I don't know all the details of it, but I know he like took his own life. And
mm,
like anyone who was at that fest, whether you knew him, like I had no clue who he was before the fest, but like afterwards, like you knew the kid.
mm,
And in that moment I kind of want to do something, and I don't know, like is this weird? Like I'm gonna put together a zine and I'm just gonna put it up for pre-order, see how many I can buy, and I'm just gonna donate that money to like some foundation that like helps with like like mental awareness or just like suicide prevention or whatever it is. I wanted to do something. I'm like, I've got all these photos. I don't just want to put them on the internet. So I'm like, let's do something.
mm.
And through like some people that I had known, like just like got in contact with his parents, and like they were like, we would love if you would like donate that to this foundation. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So that zine like kind of came out of just wanting to do something and like bring some awareness to something, and being like, I took all these photos, why not? Like the world can see these in like a different way, and I can like maybe do something that's like kind of good, something that like helps out. Um, and once I like finished it, I'm like just flipping through it, and I'm like, this is so much cooler than just scrolling through Instagram. I'm like, this is way cooler to like flip through a book and literally be like looking at photos. So ever since then, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something physical with my work, whether it's like print a photo like every so often, or like do like a random zine here and there. And then like two or 3 years went by, and I just did nothing. I was like, nah, I still haven't done anything. And then the that Infest show happened out here. It's like Infest,
Oh
Life
yeah.
Support, Cadaver Dog, Mangled State, and I was like, okay, this is a show that deserves more than just like putting some photos up on the internet. Like I
Hmm.
don't want to just put these photos on the internet. Like it's just not what I'm gonna do. So once that ended, I just like started putting things together, looking through the photos that I had, and I was like, okay, like working on trying to get it laid out right and like do this. And then I was like, oh, what if I could add in, like, I'll just like interview the bands, like I'll just talk to them, ask them like a couple random questions, incorporate that into it. And I think I still ended like, because I think that show happened in 2022,
Mm-hmm.
and I still like sat on it. Like I don't think that first scene came out till like 23, and I was
Okay.
just like procrastinating. Just like I think part of it was like I kept looking at it and I'm like, it's not good enough. Like it's got to be better than this.
Hmm.
Um, but that's where it was born from. Was like just kind of being. I don't know if it's like fed up, but just like people just scroll through Instagram all day, and it's like, especially with photos, it's like I'll post like a carousel of like 10 photos,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I guarantee you most people look at the first one and they're like, oh yeah, cool, I like it, and then they just scroll to the next. And I was just like, if you're gonna take photos at a show, like do something with them. Like don't just sit on them. Don't just be like, oh yeah, they're on the internet. If you want to see them, like you can go check them out. Like
Mm-hmm.
do something with them. And just like holding a physical copy of something is just cooler. Like it's just cooler in my opinion. So that's where the whole idea was born. Was like that one show was just like, this needs a book. Like it just needs to happen. I've got to put
Mm-hmm.
it out, and it took a year to do, I think. But then after that first one, like this next one, I was like, okay, I like there was the double record release with Candy Apple and Direct Threat. um, and I was like, yeah, this like I know the show's gonna be like pretty nuts. Like it's gonna be awesome. So I like in advance of the show, I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. Like I'm gonna photograph this one, and I'm gonna do a zine with it when it's done. And I kind of did the same thing I did with that Infest show. I was like, I'll put like 5 photos online, so that way it's like, okay, like something exists. And then I was like, if you want to see more, zine's coming out. Like here's a link, you can pre-order it. And then just like went through the process of putting it together, and then getting it out into the world. And like I've tried to still leave it in this world of like, if there's going to be a zine attached to it, like I try not to share anything online, not because I'm like wanting to make it some weird exclusive thing, but I'm just like hoping that people will see this and be like, oh, like I could hold a thing in my hands. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to flip through my phone to see this. Like I could just like have a physical thing, because like I'm the same way with records. Like I have too many records, as you can see here. And like if when I order a record, I won't listen to that on Spotify. I'll wait until the record shows up, because I'm like, I want to listen to the real thing. Like I want the physical, tangible copy. I want it in my hands. I want to flip through like the liner notes. I want to look at the lyrics. I want it like whatever it is, the artwork. And like
Yeah.
that to me is like what music and or like photography or anything, like it should be tangible. Like, you know, it's just that's always been my mindset. And I don't know if it's caught on. I don't know if people care about the zines, but
Uh,
I'm still loving it.
dude, I mean,
I'm
I
I'm working
have a
working
feeling.
on a new one now, so I'm like I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Sure. I mean, I think that kind of goes hand in hand with the whole aspect of like the coffee table, book. I mean, as far as like John Contino is like an artist from New York. I have his book. Like Jacob Bannon had,
Yeah,
Dune Delva that he released like years ago. And having, just those types of things where it's like you say, it's not something that's, just being swiped through, but something that's on the table and you kind of open it up and, go to random X page and kind of do a little bit of reading too. And I love the
yeah,
aspect too that you've incorporated, the interviews in these, and you had, like a little bit of not only like the visual piece, but maybe, kind of talking about the shows and talking about the bands and different things too. Cause I mean, like you said, volume one being fucking Infest, Cadaver Dog, Mangled State, Life Support.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is October 22nd at Silver, 7th Circle. And that place looks so sick, dude.
That place is
Like
awesome.
every
That place is awesome.
show that I see there, I'm like, fuck, man, that's a special spot for
It's a
sure.
it's a, it's a great venue. It's really cool.
Any-
Yeah,
Anything
we've got a
memorable
lot
from
of
that
stuff
show?
from. I mean, the whole thing.
Front to
the
back.
the
Yeah.
whole thing on. I mean, I don't. It was the place was packed. Like it was totally packed. And like I've been to plenty of sold out shows there, but I feel like they just like, come on, keep coming in. Like there were people like in like the alleyway, just like trying to like hear anything. But I think like my favorite moment of that whole show is Infest is setting up and they're just like they're playing, and Joe is like trying to walk through the crowd of people to like get up on stage to sing. And there's this dude who just has no clue who he is, who's like shoving him. He's like, "Get out of my way, man!" Like he wants to be in the front, like he wants to like be right front stage, and he's like shoving him out of the way, and he like won't let him get on stage. And Joe is just like hysterically laughing. Like I put it as like I think I put it in as the last photo of that zine. It's just him in the crowd hysterically laughing because this dude just like won't let him get on stage to sing his own band set because he just has no clue who he is. And he's so dead set on like, I gotta be front and center. Like I want to see this happen. And like I feel like any like people like a lot of people would probably get like pissed about that and like start shoving him back. But this dude was just like, I'm just laughing. He's like, I'm gonna get up on there eventually at some point. I don't care if you want to keep shoving me, but he's just like hysterically laughing. And I was able to like capture like that quick moment of it, and I was like, this is awesome. So
God
that
damn.
was a great moment of that show.
Yeah. And I wanted to say too, as far as me asking for memorable, like moments, that this is of course a narc free zone. I wasn't meaning anything like, oh man, this guy threw a fucking trash can. Like I remember there was something a little while. Do you remember Giallo?
Yeah,
There was
yeah,
show. It was like Giallo. Oh, I say you remember. I mean, they're around right now. Like
they're
they're like
around. Yeah.
touring band. But there was like some show that they had played. I'm trying to think of other bands that were involved with that, but fucking Floor Tom was like thrown through the air, and it's
Oh
just like a
yeah,
picture
yeah,
like smashing this dude's fucking head. And I was
yeah.
like, when did that
What's
happen? And
and
yeah.
Andy took that photo, I think, right? Andy
Yeah,
Wilcox, is that
yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah. I
Um,
was just like, oh,
yeah,
yeah. Maybe I was talking to Andy. That's what it was. And I was just like, oh my god, when was this? It's like, eh, legally we won't talk about this. It's like, love that,
yeah. Some,
brother. Love
sometimes you gotta
that.
keep it on the down low a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, so volume two, you end up having. Now, was this something as well that was like a charity based, or was that just more specifically like that first like?
Yeah, just that first one. Just the first one was
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
the ones after it were more. I mean, honestly, it was more like it was almost just like a personal
Mm-hmm.
thing. I was like,
The place and the
I
time.
just, yeah, I was like, I got to get these out into the world. I just want people to see these. I want even like one kid to like hold it in their hand and be like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that's all I really care about. I'm like, if someone comes up like I've had kids at shows who are like, oh, like how much are they? And I'm like, what do you got? Like I don't care. Like you got $5? Great. Like $5. Like here. Like I just want you to like physically hold this and like feel what it feels like to like actually just like flip through a book and like experience it in that way instead of
Mm-hmm.
like scrolling your scrolling your screen. Like the internet's done great things. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I'm like, there's a part of me every now and then. I'm like, I'm just gonna quit the internet. I'm done. I'm not gonna post any photos on the internet. If you want to see the
Yeah.
photos, you got to get the book. But then I'm like, it's gonna backfire.
Well, there's even like a balance with that though too, where it's like, you mentioning as far as having a book or having a zines and having things that's like, hey, it's not going to be things that you're going to see on here. There's backstories, there's,
Yeah, yeah,
like interviews or just a written, document of what this show was and who was involved and when it was and all
yeah,
that. But,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's kind of that back and forth, but I mean, I'm the same way, with different things. I have more so like DVDs and Blu-rays and shit as far as for film.
Hmm.
But I also have records, like a big thing for me has always been, the fact of like having movies on hand, because even when streaming started coming up, it's like all of a sudden you pop on fucking Netflix one day and it's like, damn, I
Yep.
really wanted to watch that movie that I love, and it's not there anymore. It's like, well, you can't do that with records. You can't do that with fucking Blu-rays and DVDs,
Exactly.
and yeah, I mean, thank God for it. Like with this volume two, Candy Apple and Direct Threat. Candy Apple is one of these bands, and I'm not going to say that's never been done, but they're one of these bands that has pulled off something that I think I've always tried to pull off in a band, and it's never worked out. Where it's like the Weezer doo-wop beat, like the da na 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 na
Hmm.
na na na.
Hmm.
Dude,
Yeah.
they
Can
pulled that off, and
Candy
I'm like,
Apple, like,
fuck you,
yeah, yeah. Candy
so
Apple is one
sick.
of those bands that is just like, I don't even like, I can't even put it into words. Like, I remember I was like sitting there trying to like come up with some questions that I wanted to ask in that for that zine, and I was like trying to pinpoint. I'm what is your sound? How did you get to your sound? Like, you're kind of this, you're kind of, and I was like, I don't even know where to begin because they pull from just like so many different areas. Like, it's definitely got that like early 80s like Jerry's Kids and like
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Necros maybe, or like just like that faster kind of thrashier thing. But then they throw this like rock and roll thing at you that you're just like, where did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
And like, how did you make it work with all the other stuff you're doing? And then there's like almost this kind of like noise aspect to it a little bit. Like that band, like, for anyone that's not listening to that band, like they need to be. Like, they're doing something that is just like not really been done, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. And so much of like punk and hardcore music, like, it's all recycled. Like, at the end of the day, like, there's so few like truly original bands, and it's like, it's okay, like, because it's like tradition almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're paying like homage to like the people who came before you, and you're doing it in like this certain way. And I don't know, I've always felt like from the first time I saw that band, I was like, I don't know how to describe to someone else what they're doing, but
Mm-hmm.
like, you need to hear it, and you also like, you got to see it. Like, that band, that's like,
Yeah,
they're a band live that just like, they give it, and it's like, it's the whole feeling is just there. It's awesome.
dude, and that short film that they did.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. I have the VHS somewhere back behind me here,
Oh,
but
dude,
yeah,
that's so fucking
yeah.
sick. I missed out on the thing. I think it sold out by the time that I got out of work or whatever
It's
fucking
yeah. I think
shenanigans
it
was
sold
going on.
quick, if I remember right.
Yeah,
But like,
I can
yeah.
imagine.
And then they did like a release for it, and like did like a showing of it, and like, yeah, that was cool. Like, they're just, yeah. That's the other thing. It's like, they're taking it to like a whole nother level. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just the music with that band, like, it's the visuals too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's just like super, super, super cool. Like, they hit me up about taking some photos um for like that release, and we like went to like a movie theater and like took some shots in there because they're like, we're doing a like video release, and it was like some of the most fun I've ever had.
What
It was
theater
so cool.
was that at?
That SIE film, the SIE, I forget. I think it has a like Psy. I don't know. It's in Denver though. It's like a little independent theater here.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like something like shut down and
No, 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 no. It's like an
okay.
existing like theater. They do um I can't remember if it's like once a month or if it's like during certain months they do like there's a girl out here who runs this thing called Scream Screen, and
Okay.
shows like um old horror movies. Like, a lot of time, like, I think they did like the Giallo January, and like once a week showed like an old like Giallo film.
Is she involved
Um
with vinegar syndrome out there?
I maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not
Hmm.
positive.
Okay.
Her name's Teresa, I believe. Um, but yeah, and then she's done like a lot of the showings that she'll do. Like, we went to go see. They showed Pieces a couple months back, and they had a band playing before, and I'm drawing a blank now what band it was that played. It might have even been Candy Apple, actually.
Damn.
But they'll like have a band like set up at the front of the theater and like play a set and then show the film. It's like it's fun.
Fuck,
It's a good
that's so
time.
sick.
It's a good time.
God, dude. That's I mean, and even, like what
Oh yeah,
Edith
Edith
Pike.
Pike played that one.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
It was it's something where, like, my friends and I, when we were kind of coming up, and the interest in film, the interest in music, hardcore and punk and all that, it's like seeing certain things like that, where Candy Apple, and of course, it's not to say that they're like the pioneers or the first band that's done that, but like it reminded me of like my friends and I when we were coming up, where it was like, hey, we have this song that like we recorded on cassette tapes that we like made multiple copies of, and now we want to make a music video for that we're going to put this shitty song to that ends up being, and
yeah,
obviously like theirs is like to a scale though, it's like it's kind
yeah,
of like a sick like
yeah,
visualization of
yeah.
being younger and like pulling shit off like that. It's like so cool.
Yep.
Hats off to them, man. That
Seriously.
show, I mean, looked like it fucking rocked.
Yeah, that show was awesome. That was a good one.
Volume 3. Now this is where it's like a real fucking neck breaker. I can only imagine everybody was sore after the Repos, Asbestos, Consequence, and Negative Degree, and Guns N' Rosa Parks.
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
H. Where did Guns N' Rosa Parks come from? At what point did they
Uh,
just fucking crawl out of a fucking a dungeon? I don't know. Like, I never heard anything about this band other than all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're playing with fucking the Repos, and we're playing with fucking this band. It's like, who is this?
Guns N' Rosa Parks is like so they were. I want to say Fort Collins based, but they were around like it was like that was like early 2011, 12, I think.
Okay.
Um, so they were like them and Negative Degree were both like they were like reunion sets for them. Like neither of those bands are actually active anymore. It was like
Oh, okay.
they just like
Okay.
they did it like for like Sean pulled like I don't know again like kind of like that convulse fest like with Adam just like pulling together like how Sean had like the ability to like pull all those bands together and make that happen is beyond me because
Mm-hmm.
that night was awesome and like yeah like Guns N' Roses Parks was they might have even been earlier than 2000 like they because think I feel like that band may have ended before I moved out here.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it was like early 2000s, like 2008 or 9 maybe. I might be wrong. I might be wrong about
Hmm.
that. Um, but Negative Degree was like early like 2010, 11, 12, I think. 13, 14 maybe, somewhere that in that range.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, that band I remember seeing a few times like back in the day, and so like seeing that flyer pop up and like seeing that name on there, I was like, are you kidding me? Like what? Like so that show in general was just it was crazy. It was nuts, and it was just like the perfect the perfect night. Like everything about it, like every set sounded great. Like everyone was into the whole thing. It was awesome. And the Repos, like that was my first time getting to see them.
Hmm.
Like I'd heard them for years, and they're kind of one of those bands. I feel like they pop up and then like they're gone, and then they pop back
Mm-hmm.
up and then they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
And like I never really knew what the story with that band was even.
Mm-hmm.
So when that flyer popped up and when Sean was like, "Hey, I'm doing this thing," I was just like, "Oh shit!" Like that's a band that's like been on the like one of those lists for me of like I want to see this band, but like it's probably never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just like that was incredible.
That rules. No, that's awesome. I mean, and it must have just been. I mean, obviously, like it's not to say that I know every fucking band ever, but with Guns and Rosa Parks, like that name in particular, I was just like, I feel like that name would have stuck out to me. And now that I think about it, I do remember somebody saying that like they had been around. I
Yeah,
don't know, like as far as like a timeline, but I was like, how did they fucking just like slither under? But
right,
if it was something the
right.
earlier 2000s, I mean,
Yeah,
it's like there's tons of fucking music out there. And for a long time,
there was a
you didn't have
lot.
access to a ton of shit,
Yeah, yeah, dude. So much stuff was just like either just like lost to time, or like
Uh,
if you weren't there, you just don't
yeah,
know. And
yeah.
like I think that's the other thing that's always driven me a little bit with like wanting to do like a zine and like physical copies of like printed stuff, I'm like, 10 years from now, no one's going to know this ever happened, but someone might still have that book and be like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this
Yeah.
happened. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's even something where it's like I have kids, and my kid's he's a teenager, and he kind of like draws inspiration. He has friends over, and he wants to like come in and like look at movies. And every once in a while, he's looking at records, or he's looking at like some of my art books, and he's like, "Hey, who is this person? And what is like this area, and how is like Colorado? Like, what is it that you're like drawn to, and how do you all this?" And it's cool. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
it's shit
Yeah.
that like I love and I cherish, and I like to have like as far as like memory, but then for it kind of like to pass on, even if he doesn't give a fuck about this shit,
Right.
at one point to be like, whoa, like that's kind of cool. Like what's this all about?
Yeah.
Um, I love that, and I love the opportunity too. So
Yeah.
it's
What's
sick.
what's your you have a lot of DVDs. What's your
Wow.
holy grail movie?
Um, I mean, as far as like a expensive wise, like I have a second sight, Dawn of the Dead, that is like $600 or some shit like that now.
Oh,
Like a
damn.
Blu-ray, like it's just stupid $500, something like that. Um,
Jesus.
I think for like favorite things in the earlier 2000s, they released The Evil Dead and The Evil Dead 2 in like an actual like Necronomicon case. Like it's like a leather bound,
Oh,
like the fucking like evil book.
hell
Um,
yeah.
I love those. Like
That's
those are
awesome.
still like so fucking sick. And it's funny
That's
because like they're
awesome.
nothing even to this day like that expensive. Um,
Right.
but going to the store, actually finding them in a place, and being able to like have those to like bring back and still have like the original Evil Dead is like falling apart. Like it's like physically like diminishing. So
Yeah. I mean,
that
it's
part kind of kills me.
it is a classic movie though. You got to watch it over and over.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's another thing, with like Denver too, is like there's a great like you guys have a Vinegar Syndrome outlet, or not outlet, but like a branch, out there now. I mean, you have like such a cool community of different stuff within horror and hardcore and
Yeah.
um, and tons of people out there that like have that like mindset, which is funny because like when I was coming up, like those things were very separated. Like there was only like me and a couple of my friends that were like, oh, I like horror movies and hardcore music, and
Yeah.
metal and punk, and
It's
um,
actually like a big crossover, I feel like it's
it
like
is.
it's
It's
huge and
crazy.
and like I haven't yet been to any of these, but I know like Kane is doing the like Fatal Wave cinema stuff.
Oh
There's like
yeah.
a venue
Okay.
here, and there was one, I think it was last night maybe. I don't
Mhm.
remember. Um and they just show like old horror movies. They did a screening of Scarecrow last night.
Oh dude.
And like it's cool because they printed up like a little zine for it. Like I saw like the photos online, and there's like a little zine for it. And I think I saw like someone posted like some people came like kind of like in character, and it was like I'm like, this is fucking cool. Like more
Oh
stuff like
man.
that. Like Denver definitely has like a lot more going on than I think like even people here realize, because like yeah, like that's he's been doing it for a minute, and like I see the post up, and I'm like, oh, I gotta remember to go to that, and then
Mhm.
last minute either something comes up, or I'm like, oh, I forgot or whatever.
Mhm.
Like but I feel like part of it is like there's almost too much going on in this area that you kind of take it for granted sometimes, and you're like
Mhm.
not intentionally, not of like, oh, like screw that, like that's not worth going to, like I'm not gonna do
Right.
that. You just
Right.
get this like there's like too much, and you take it for granted a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a great thing as long as it all doesn't completely dwindle by and it's a time where you're like, fuck,
Yeah.
I missed everything.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the key. That's the key, is like make sure you don't miss it all.
What have been some recent purchases as far as that you've made, as far as maybe it's records, things for for camera. What are a couple of things there, and maybe one more question, and
The
I'll let you
uh
run, brother.
so records, I got the new Spy EP that came out. That record's great. It showed up the day of their show here, which was like
Oh, sick.
great. It was
Okay.
really cool. And I'm also like a pretty big horror fan. I got the Substance soundtrack in the mail
Oh man,
recently. I had ordered that one a while ago, and it like recently showed up. So that was like a good one. That movie should have won Best Picture. I'm sorry, I just
dude.
got it. Like I watched Anora. It was fine, but like the Substance was just better.
See, I haven't seen it
Maybe an
even,
unpopular
but
opinion, but like it's so good.
oh, dude.
Um,
I haven't seen Anora, but the Substance was so fucking
it
insane.
was so good.
Great.
Like that was like a perfect movie. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then I got down here. Sorry, like hiding. Um, Tron has done a bunch of books.
Mm-hmm.
He did like the Yuko's Hammer
Yes.
book. He's got like a
Yes.
third one that he did. Shout out to that dude because he's on the same wavelength. Like
Yeah.
put it in print. Like let people have it.
Yeah.
So like those are a couple of things I recently picked up were those from him.
Beautiful.
Um, and then like that new Uko's Hammer tape that Damien put out just came in the mail
Mm-hmm.
the other day.
Fuck yes.
And that
Awesome.
came out so good also. Like the packaging on that is just like so cool because I feel like I like I've had like moments in time where I kind of like veer into like electronic and noise world a little bit, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of stuff comes out on those like oversized like clamshell cases.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like it's cool when like genres cross over a little bit, and it's like hardcore and punk kids like probably saw that release and they're like, the hell is this? Like that's not gonna fit in my tape holder. Like this is weird, but it's like it looks so cool and like yeah,
Fuck
a
yeah.
physical copy of that tape is just rad.
Yeah.
Super cool.
It's awesome. I mean, and like if you dig in a little bit more too, like Zach has a whole catalog of, some straight up like trancy,
Yeah.
very, well, maybe I shouldn't say trancy, but like very experimental, very extreme, like noise, like all the way out, like to the point, where we're like sitting here talking, I have my headphones and I'm like, brother, this is fucking killing me. Like this
Yeah.
is insanity. Like if I was
Yeah.
at a
His
club
like
of some sort, I'm like,
his data
fuck.
rainbow project
Yeah.
is like
Yeah,
it's
yeah, there
super
you
it's
go.
super cool. It's very like there's like a like big Euro electronic thing like
Mm-hmm.
Gabber, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's
Sure.
it's it's that like 100%, and that's just
Yeah.
like it's so cool. But yeah, he's done like that dude's done a lot of cool stuff. Like
Yeah, totally.
like musically
Totally.
like just so many cool different like and like different ventures too. Like it's not just like, oh, I just keep repeating the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Like the different like projects and things like that are super cool.
Well, it was neat even, I mean, being able to like talk to him, and this was prior to this most recent release coming out where he was kind of talking about like some artwork of like a swan and like all these different elements from like old, fuck, I'm gonna absolutely butcher this. I can't remember, older writings of some sort that he was kind of talking about, like because he's real big into like history and
Yeah,
just
yeah,
constantly reading and telling me about shit. I'm like, brother, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but it sounds awesome. Like, I gotta check this out.
yeah, totally.
and it's cool because then also the release comes out. I'm like, oh shit, like this is what you were talking about. Like, looks amazing. And like you say, the physical aspect of it and the oversized cassette tape and dude,
Yeah,
very sick.
yeah.
You mentioned, me with movies. You in records, brother. What are a couple of Holy Grail releases that you have?
Oh, that I have. Geez, I don't know. I don't know. Um,
Or a couple that are your favorite?
some like. Okay, so let's go. Like I've always like secretly kind of like hated the like, oh, what are the five best records? I'm like, I like what genre? Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Like it spans so much. But if I was like, because you sent that question beforehand, and I was like, all right,
Uh
I'm gonna
huh.
think about this because
Okay.
that's a big one. I'm
That's
like
hard.
I'm like I gotta think about this a little bit. But I would say the first Bad Brains record is like top for me.
Sure.
It's just like they're so raw, it's so fat. Like they were just like they were doing something that I feel like it's not like they were the first, but like they pioneered like that sound so
Hmm.
much. And like Bad Brains are like huge. Like that's a top one. Black Flag is another top one for me. And I love everything they've done. Like I've got like the Family Man record, which is like a spoken word record that they did. And
Hmm.
it's weird, but I'm like, yeah, I like probably once a year I put it on and I just sit and I'm like, this is weird, but I love it. But like the early stuff is definitely like the stuff that I probably click with more.
Okay.
But the My War LP is probably my favorite just because it spans so much. Like
Hmm.
it's got that really traditional like fast punk feel to it, but then like that B side is like really just weird and like kind of like sludgy, like heavy, like metally almost, but like
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Like that record is killer.
Hmm.
Um, First Negative Approach 7 inch is just like start to finish perfect. Like there are no bad songs on that in my opinion, and it's just like it's unrelenting. It's done before it starts. It's just that record is so good. Um, but I also like, I mean, love the Smiths. Like Queen is Dead is
Oh,
probably
oh,
like
sure.
a
Wow.
like a top contender for me for like really high up on that list. Um, the Cure, between like pornography and like disintegration, I'm always a little torn on like which one I think is like the better one, and I don't even like it's not even worth getting into which one's better because like they both have like something that they give to it, you know.
Sure.
But like those are definitely up there as well. But yeah, it's so hard to like what are the top five records? I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Like Black Sabbath could
It's
easily be on that list, like without question. Like, Minor Threat could be on that list. You could
hmm.
like I love Elvis Costello also. I'm like, that could be on the list. There's just
Oh
like
no shit.
it's so hard. So hard. It's a good
Man,
question.
man.
But like I'm like, it's too broad. Like unless you're gonna be like, hey, in this genre, like what are the
Right.
five? I'm like,
Right.
I'm lost. I don't know.
But that's always a good sign of somebody, as a music fan, and it's not to talk shit on somebody that just likes punk rock or just likes hip hop, but
Yeah.
um, I was brought up, I guess, luckily with a lot of different aspects of music, in my household with my sister, my two brothers, my mom, and my dad. They all had fucking completely like different angles. So it was like
Hmm.
coming up and, having an interest in like hearing, some folk band and then fucking Boston in another room, Slayer in another room, fucking Backstreet Boys in another room. It was like, yeah, I mean, I'll check out all this, and see like what the
Yeah.
hell's going on with it. And, even some of the stuff that like my sister would listen to with like pop music was very like instrumental later in life when I realized like song structure and I realized like that
Yeah.
formula of the ABAC, kind of fucking like, um, did I just spell ACAB? Anyway,
ABAC.
ABAC. Never mind. I thought I
Close.
spelled
Close.
ACAB.
Close.
I was like, what a fucking asshole. Well, ACAB, whichever. You know what I'm saying? Either way. I just pull my
Yeah.
fucking headphones up. No, yeah. Anyway, so dude, it's been fucking 2 hours. Honestly,
Went
we
by
could keep on going,
quick.
brother.
Well,
I
yeah.
hope at some point that we can hang out in person. Kick it at a show. I can get over to Denver. We've got in-laws that are over there. I just need to
Make it
get myself on
happen.
a fucking plane.
Yeah.
I
Hop on that plane. Just make it
don't like the
happen.
idea. I don't like the idea. But for all the
But you
incredible
should
things
like
that are going on over there,
bring
dude,
bring bring your band out this way. That's
we've been
actually
talking
that's
about it.
that's
Yeah.
that's actually another recent purchase. I picked up that tape. I ordered that tape from you guys. So
Oh shit, you
that was
did?
another. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dude, thank you kindly.
Um,
I cannot thank you enough.
yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
But come,
Man,
make it out here. The
make it
show
up
will
to
be great.
you.
Make it
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So this year, like, just be kind of between like jobs and kind of like the inside of all this shit, between jobs and families. We kind of set out like a couple of things where we have something in June that's going to be like a shorter run, and then in October we're going to be doing something that's like a little bit longer, but it's making our way to Florida.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and so we have been talking about Denver and have been trying to like figure out something as far as like getting over there because it would be fucking incredible. All of the
Yeah,
people that I've luckily gotten to meet, through here, like it's a sick scene, dude.
it
You
is.
guys have a very fucking special thing going on over there, man.
Yeah, it is, and it would be great. But dude, heading to Florida's nuts.
Yeah,
Florida's
yeah.
nuts. Some of
Well,
like the best shows we ever played. I feel like we're in Florida. Those kids like they just go off.
I'm
So
excited.
that'll be good for you guys.
Yeah, sick, 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 dude. Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
yeah. Thank you.
Joe. This has been fucking incredible. Anybody that just tuning in a little bit late, I have episodes up every Tuesday. In the next coming months here, I'll have this episode on here and promote it on here. Yeah, dude, this has been fucking awesome. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
the time
thank
once again, brother.
yeah. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
buddy.
All
Take
right.
care. Have a good night.
We'll see ya.
Yeah.
He's a lo-fi horror guy. Yeah, he's kind of a guy, but he is so lo-fi a horror guy. Yeah. Lo-fi horror guy has been recorded in front of a live studio audience.